Yeah, stagehands and use that one. Uh, yeah.
All right, and we're all set for tonight's effery. But let me let's get rid of that because we have to. I have to put the crabs in the bucket. Like that's her whole shtick.
That's the whole stick. Yep. Oh, we live. Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it, man.
All
We we
right,
we we
okay. Where do you want to
do it live.
begin? Yeah, it's up to it's on you.
Um, shit, man. You know what? Yeah, let's start with Candace Owens first. Yeah, Candace Owens. Let's start with her first, man, because that you know what? Honestly, it was a long time coming.
Okay, maybe I'm weird,
That
but
shit was a long time coming.
I'm excited for her. Like I can't wait to see what the new pivot's going to be.
Yeah, this is the. I told you, man. 2024 is the age of the pivot.
Yeah. Do you think she files a lawsuit at some point?
Yes, she will file a lawsuit, but she will lose.
Okay.
She's gonna lose.
Okay.
She will lose. Okay. And the reason why I say she will lose is because, okay, I'm just I'm being nice about this. You cannot you cannot talk about the star people. Okay. You cannot say anything disparaging. You cannot make jokes. You can make jokes about everybody else. Just can't make jokes about small hats. Okay. Can't make jokes about the star people. Can't disparage them in any way. And you can't align with somebody who was talking very, very bad about the star people. Okay. Can't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
All right. But the problem with and I know Lucas taking that victory lap, amazing Lucas taking that victory lap because I watched that video. Uh, Look, listen. But anyway, um, the reason why I'm not really like surprised at any of this is because for the longest time, if you've been following Candace Owens, from the gamer, let's start from the Gamergate days.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start there. For those who want to live under a rock or just hear no evil, see no evil, it never happened. She's a changed woman. um Sorry, I can't do it with a straight face slide. I can't do it with a straight face. I'm
Well,
sorry, I can't do it.
I don't understand why everyone's like the witch is dead. Like she's not going anywhere. Like she's a public figure.
Sh-
She has her husband is white. She got access to resources and money. She's well spoken, highly intelligent. Where is she not gonna where you not gonna see
She's
this woman again? You know?
she you will see her. Okay, this is the problem, but she will be reduced. You will still see her, but she will be reduced.
Okay.
Okay, she will be reduced to only culture aspects. Like she will still talk crap about black people as all of them do, but if you really want to, like kind of, you know, say something about that, she will be downgraded to nothing but like tea and beef. Okay. It's just tea and beef at that point.
Team beef.
Okay. Tea and beef. Tea and beef. She might as well just be in the manosphere. Okay. Because I mean that's a good pivot for her.
I think she'd kill it. Oh
I,
my god, I would love to see that.
listen, if anybody can join the manosphere right now, I'd say Candace Owens is a great shoe in for that pivot.
She would
Okay, I mean, Manosphere is nothing but beef and tea already, so Candace fits right in.
she would
But
fucking kill it.
but that's what Candace Owens and most of these black conservatives will be reduced down to is just talking about the culture because I mean at this at a just at a large level, right? In like the culture war aspect of it,
Uh-huh.
they only talk about, like linear topics like culture or anything else like that. When you talk about like the Ukrainian war or Russian stuff like that, I would rather the white people talk about that.
Okay.
You're going to talk about the urban news,
Okay.
okay? And
Okay.
that's what she's been hired to do from PragerU. to Daily Wire to all these other conservative, companies that she's been at. That's all she's good at doing. Okay, and look, listen, I have like everybody has drank the Kool Aid of Candace Owens, but even I know that, a woman that has made and be reminded because, people seem to hear no evil and see no evil, right? Because that's what people like to do. She was responsible during the Gamergate days of making Social Autopsy. And if you guys don't know what that is, you might want to go ask what's her name? Tree of Logic. Is she still around? Because she ruined her she almost ruined her life with that shit.
Mhm.
As much as me and Tree don't like each other, I mean, there's one thing we can agree on.
It's funny how small these circles really are if you really get down to it. Like, because we're all like literally 6 degrees, 4 degrees of separation from each
Oh
other.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think she'll be just fine. I think she'll be just fine. I think, but I do agree, tea and beef more than likely. I hope she doesn't.
She's been reduced at
I
this
just
point.
hope
Like,
she's not Shannon Sharp's level. I hold her a step above Shannon Sharp.
I mean, the main problem, honestly, the main problem that I would see with her being in the tea and beef sector, and honestly, that's where she is reduced down to because again, she's not going to be taken seriously in the right leaning spaces anymore. And again,
Mhm.
like you really like have to understand like that this whole culture war thing. It's no different. Like the Daily Wires, the Daily Wire from C-SPAN to the Blaze to they're all the same umbrella of right wing politics. And the Ben Shapiro's of the world, they have the conservative media just the same as they have the liberal media. I'm not the one disparaging the small hats or the star people. I love you guys. You're in New York. Okay, some of y'all got, like we cool. Okay, we cool because we from the East Coast. And I listen, I don't want no smoke. Okay. Okay, small hats, small people. Okay, we have a thing going on. But the thing I can say is that, well, once they make phone calls, because I'm pretty sure that Ben Shapiro has put out those phone calls to not work with this woman. Okay, where is she gonna go? She can like even after she quit, quote unquote, because she didn't really quit. They pretty much fired her. Um, and it's kind of written like in black and white that they fired her. I would say that it's beef and tea. You're gonna have to go there, right? But then after a while, like she kind of trying to get back into the good graces of urban folk because she was on the
And
Breakfast Club not too long ago.
I think it's going to work because I think you're starting to see a lot of, let's say, black men kind of like start to like look at her like, okay, I like her now. I mean, what she said and did in the past, I'm willing to overlook that, or I'll take it with a grain of salt. But I think you see a lot of brothers start to gravitate towards her. I think, and plus,
Is
social
is the
media is
mic
wide
on?
open.
Well, hold on. Is the mic on real quick? I
Yeah,
just want
yeah,
to make
yeah.
sure the audio's
Oh,
okay. So black men, just listen to the sweet sound of my voice. She's married to a white man. Just saying. Go ahead, Sly.
they're willing to overlook that. I like Candace Owens. Like when she gets to talking, like I'm like, yes, bitch, yes.
Me
I like
personally,
her.
I'm like, at some point, like, I'm glad she having that real nigga wake up call, but it's just like,
Is
come on,
this a,
fam. Like,
okay? Is this a real wake up call? Like, aren't we
at
surprised
some
they let
point,
her? I'm only asking because aren't we surprised they let her last this long?
they let her last this long because she's been putting in work, saying a bunch of goofy shit about black people. It's well, black people this and black people that, and black people don't do this and black people don't do that. I'm like, bitch, exactly which black people are you looking at? Because it's not guys like you or me.
I like her. I thought Fresh and Fit, that was a brilliant move to have her on. I think she's slowly gonna go to secure her urban roots, her urban fans. I think her urban fan base is growing. Listen, you may not get $1 million with the white folk, but quarter mil a year with black folk, money's still good. I don't know.
Mm, I mean, I would use that money for the upcoming lawsuits because I'm listen Ben Shapiro, and I've met Ben Shapiro. I've seen him before. Yeah, Ben's not the type of guy that's like, he's not the type of guy that's like, I'm not gonna let this one. Like if he loses, he's not really a like good game type of guy. No, no, no. He makes sure that you go down.
Okay,
I have met the guy. So I'm
okay,
just like, very like he looks at you stern in the face. Like if you say one thing that I find that I might deem okay, like you're gonna go down. Okay. So act accordingly. So I'm like, and I looked at him like, you're one of them type of okay.
yeah.
I've seen your type before. I've seen his type before. Trust me, long stories, twists and turns, and me being at the RNC and the DNC in 2016 and 2017, having to just you don't want to. I don't want to go back to those times. It was just not the time to be alive.
Yeah, and to everybody in the chat, yo, I heard what she said. Now, aside from the IQ comment, it's her proximity. Like, if you're a black woman and you're around nothing but Europeans, I expect you to date, mate, and marry, because that's all that's in your proximity. If it just happens to be an intelligent guy, cool. I don't that shit don't bother me. Because if Candace gave me a chance, I'm on it. You understand? I'm on it.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I mean,
yes, what? Give a fuck
I
about
mean,
that.
I personally, I'm not saying I didn't hear it. Okay, I heard it from the grapevine. I just didn't watch the what was it? Breakfast Club. I didn't watch it, but I would assume, like from I guess an outside looking in standpoint. I mean, it is. I did say a long time ago on Red Sings the Blues, I did say that like you would be dating within your environment. Like there are like the exceptions to that rule.
Yeah,
Yes, do people go like do urbans go over to the suburbans? Yes, that does happen, but it's like on like a very it's so minuscule. Like
yeah.
you're not like for me, like I date even right now I date within my vicinity. But it's just I date on a like I have a black woman that I have found. So it was just like we date on that level. So I get it, but I'm just like, okay, like I don't like for me, like I can't get mad at Candace Owens because again, I don't give a shit. And it's not like I really care about it.
Exactly. I don't take nothing she says or does personally. Like, you ain't talking to me.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
how
like
could you? She's a celebrity. She's an entertainer. She's entertaining. I'm entertained by her. I love the way she entertains me. Yes, bitch, keep it going.
yeah.
Keep going. Yes.
At that point, I'm just like, well, okay, well, carry on because you're not talking about me. So
Right, Carrie. Yeah, carry on.
make that make that money because Ben
What we
Shapiro coming
talking
for it
about?
anyway. So
Yeah.
make that money because Ben Shapiro coming for it anyway. So
Man, listen, if she's on a tour in town, I would go check her out. I would.
listen, I have met all of them. I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason why they say don't meet your
Never meet your
heroes. Well,
idols. Yeah.
never meet your idols, never meet your heroes. Trust
Yeah.
and believe. Trust me, man, like I said, it was a time to be alive. It was a time to be alive. That's all I can tell you. All right, that's all I could. There is no NDA. It's just like I met these people and I was just immensely disappointed.
Well, I mean, to get to where they're at, you have to somewhat of a psychotic sociopath in some shape, form, or fashion. You know.
Well, he's just. I mean, there's a point where I'm just like, okay, I'm willing to sell out and make money, but just like Jesus Christ, man, I need a little bit of struggle in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like something that makes me like, I'm so glad I'm not at that level because I'd probably be, probably doing some of that
Right. Right. Just to cope. I get it. I
just to
get
cope
it.
with it. I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest with you.
I'm excited for. I hope she does more of the urban. um, Fresh and Fits, the Breakfast Club. Like, all we need now is Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, I'm very interested in how 2024 kind of keeps going like this because it's been like a very interesting pivot for a lot of people.
Yes,
You know
you're
what
at the
I'm saying?
pivot. Yes, yes,
Listen, the king of pivot, man. I went from Red Sings to Blues to now Stage
exactly.
Ends It. Okay, and everybody keeps on hitting me up about the next video. I'm still editing it. You know, like the Disney Channel's got so much information. Listen, I'm still in the process of editing. It's like what 15, 16 minutes long, but you know, it takes a while because I had to make sure all of my notes were linear and correct. So,
Yeah,
you know, making sure that the quality of the video rather than the quantity of the video.
there you
You know what
go.
I'm saying? So there is that. You
There
know,
you go.
I want to make sure that when people watch my videos, you know, that there is a, you know, quality versus the quantity. Okay,
For
because there
sure.
is a complete difference in that. But it will be out this week. It will be out this week. But
Cool.
you know, then you have I mean, aside from Candace Owens, then you have Rob Smith. You remember Rob Smith?
Yeah.
You know, the gay black man who yeah, and then he got, you know, he got his real I don't know, what do you call it? Real bussy wake up call. I guess so.
You know,
Because you can't call her
you ever ask yourself who's waiting for you to kind of pop so they can come back and get you? Do you ever ask
I
yourself like, who in my past, who do I think is waiting for me? I have a couple suspects. Do you?
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Always. Are you kidding me?
Like, you
I
know what?
like
It's weird because now I've never really thought about it until maybe 6 months ago. Like, okay, there's really people in my past waiting to get at me and try to expose me like in a major way. Like it
Sly, I have what is it? Sly, I just want to tell you, like, Red Sings the Blues is not like a clean cut guy. I have done stuff in my past that I'm not very proud of, and
you're
I'm
not
not
very
gonna.
you're not very proud.
I'm not very proud of it. Okay, but you know, Red Sings the Blues comes with his own stuff, so it's like, you know, there are a bunch of like, you know, there are people wanting to get in line and make stuff about me. Trust me,
I
you
got
know, like
I have like I know of 3 women that I would expect to come at me. Yeah,
I know my last ex girlfriend wants to come after me. Shit.
yeah,
So, you know, you know, I'm just saying, you know, like
yeah.
I'm surprised, you know, I'm surprised I got out of Red Sings the Blues that quick, you know, like unscathed. I'm like, damn, okay, well,
You
that's
know
nothing.
that I think that's the new aspect of content creation that people are not talking about. Like, if you do this, be prepared for people to come from your past. The
Oh
guy,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, the NASA guy. All of a sudden, his ex releases a video of him after he beat her up and some shit. I'm just like, wow. Like both
No,
those
I
were,
don't have stuff like that. You know, like maybe a few embarrassing videos
yeah,
with
oh,
women. By the way, I just want to. I'm just letting y'all know. Okay, I have had some tapes out there, so you know.
I'll just say this: that them little YouTube videos y'all see everyone blue them ain't nothing. I'm talking about some real like like yeah I know at least 3 mofos. I would not be surprised to be like yeah Sly did this and he's this not just that's almost just part of the job now. Unfortunately, as a content creator.
Honestly, like I mean, honestly, I'll be like, I'll just ask the crowd. I'll be like, well, did you enjoy it?
Listen,
How many times you watch it? Because I wouldn't be watching it.
listen. I'm like Batman. I got files on everybody. Bitch, I wish you
I mean,
would.
I don't care, man. Like you listen, man. Like
I don't-
you can say whatever
I'm
you
holding on
need.
to shit from 10 years ago. Like, I'm not playing. It just continuously playing on everybody.
Hey, I'm cool with it, man. Like I'm just like,
Ah.
okay, well, I did this with that woman, okay, and your point is what?
Have
And
you
okay,
have you watched the Freaknick documentary?
oh yeah, yeah, I watched it.
What do you
I watched it. I'm almost finished with it, but I'm just like, oh my god, just the raunchiness. Me personally, now what I find very interesting, what I find very interesting about you know the Freaknik and the Nickelodeon thing, which we'll get into, is that they happened at the same time,
Mhm.
right? A very, and again, maybe you can like make it into like this conspiracy theory or something else like that. But I would say it's emotionally charging people. You know what I'm saying? Like it is emotionally charging because how I think about it is that it's election season, right? It's election season, right? And you got these pivots going on. You got the Rob Smith pivot, then you got the Candace Owens pivot, then you got Freaknick documentaries and Nickelodeon documentaries coming out at the same time, mind you.
Hmm.
Same time, mind you. And I know people are just like, well, what do you why you sound so crazy, but kind of I'm thinking about it in the way of like it's spring and people need to beef again. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, makes sense.
About it like that,
Okay,
because
okay.
I'm saying to myself, like, okay, you could have dropped the Freaknik video a couple months ago. They had the footage and everything ready to go. Why didn't they do it like when they announced it?
Hmm.
Like, okay, when's the Freaknik video coming out? When it comes out. Yeah, the height of sundress season. Yes. Yes, Grape Tea News. Yeah, at the height of sundress season. This shit's happening on sundress season. Come on, fam. Like it's we're in year 2 of out of the pandemic and niggas trying to get laid. Like I was at ShopRite today and I was kind of looking under too, but I mean it's just like I'm not going for it. I mean, come on, my nigga, like you could have went for that. And dude was talking about sundress season. And I'm like, dude, you could have just why not just seal the deal? Like I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's height of sundress season. Dude's trying to get it in. You know what I'm saying? But it is, Freaknik. Like, do people are gonna talk about that for how long? I don't know. Well, let's see on YouTube. Let's see what Freaknik is it making any algorithmic
I'm gonna say no because
buzz?
I didn't see anything on Twitter about it per se. Not super trending.
Yeah. Yeah, Tamron Hall talked about it 4 days
Yeah,
ago.
that's an urban thing.
Willie
White folk don't
D.
care about that shit.
Yeah, yeah, it's not really an urban folk thing. But the Nickelodeon thing, oh, the Nickelodeon thing, oh shit. Man, look, I had to rewatch what was it? I had to rewatch Quiet on Set.
Okay.
Oh, goddamn.
What do
Just
we miss?
well, I personally think like if you're not doing what I do, which is, take record of what these companies are doing with cartoons or TV shows or how they did this and how they did that, I would say like, for me, what else can I tell you that you probably haven't already known? Um Nickelodeon was always going to be corrupt. It first off, I think people forget that Nickelodeon at a time was, like in the gutter. Okay? They got dumped by Warner. They were a part of Warner Bros before they were a part of before Viacom bought them out for I think it was $765 million last time I remember.
Right.
And they got bought on top of VH1. And at that time, Nickelodeon wasn't being invested in. Well, the things that were being invested in weren't being invested in until the 90s. The
Okay.
90s was when Nickelodeon was blowing up at that point. You know what I'm saying? With like Nicktoons and all of that. But you have to understand that, at the time, this was the height of what a lot of people would call edgy culture. Now, here, anything went. Okay. Now Nickelodeon would say, now you're seeing that a lot of people are like, well, now there are two extremes, right? So what I see in this culture right now is like we should be a lot more, edgy and have like, jokes that kind of push the barrier, but not understand of why they push the barriers. And then you have people that are just like, well, is a joke too far sometimes? And sometimes it is. Now in the 90s, I'm a kid that was born in 95, so I can't really say much about it. But growing up watching Nickelodeon, there were a bunch of things that I didn't understand. There were a bunch of adult jokes that I didn't understand. But and the main culprits, You got the Joe Murrays who made Rocco's Modern Life. You have, the John Crafalsis who made Ren and Stimpy. And then you have, and at that time, what was his name called? Dan Collins, I think. I think it, well, it was him and t- the name of the no, I think it was Tom Collins. TRP. It's that company, TRP. TRP is responsible for at that time the Amanda Show, Keenan and Kel, all that. This was before Dan Snyder. This was before the Dan Snyder takeover. Dan Snyder was a assistant director to, I think it was, hold on, let me see. TRP, if I remember, I think it is Tom Collins, but let me just let me just Talon Robbins, excuse me. I'm speaking. So Mike Tollin and Brian Robbins. So Tollin and Robbins Productions, if you guys remember that. So Tollin and Robbins are they kind of, I mean, we're also kind of looking at like the wrong people as well, because it's not just Dan Snyder, right? Oh no, not yet, not yet. But so Tylen and Robbins are looked at like they were the ones making all of that stuff. Dan Snyder was then like, I would say late 90s, early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Like I would say that. So you got to hold everybody accountable. Not just, and I'm not saying that Dan Snyder shouldn't be held accountable, but you also got to see Mike Tollins and Robbins. Okay, you got to see those guys too. Okay, what say you?
I think Dan's just the easy target. He's the most high profile of them all, and he's the most successful of them all. To be honest with you, I think Dan Schneider. I mean, the level of talent he was working with, and the results of the talent that he worked with, that's Nickelodeon's golden era to never be attained ever again. Like when you think Nickelodeon, you think all that Amanda Bynes, Zoe 101, Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Like that's Dan Schneider shit. Like it's hard for me to remember Nickelodeon before it. Rugrats, and I don't know what the fuck else before that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Doug,
yeah, Doug.
Rugrats,
Like
yeah.
like most people my age remember.
But I mean, Jim
The
Jenkins was. I mean, but if I mean, kind of looking at it, Jim Jenkins was like, like just I would say cookie cutter.
yeah,
Like Doug is a slice of life story.
yeah,
But then
and
but he
and,
also made Allegra's Window, so
and
it was
even
more
with
like different.
oh
Yeah,
no, good, yeah,
but he also made Allegra's Window, right? And that kind of didn't take off so much, but like, but he sold off to Disney, so I mean that's something.
yeah. Even with the Ren and Stimpy, we knew it was weird. Like, and our parents be like, "Kind of cartoons are y'all watching?" Like,
Mhm.
we're just watching cartoon. Really, yeah. Even Ren and Stimpy was weird as a teenager. Like, that's a bit much. But
Yeah, I mean, and again, I mean, Nickelodeon was again making money. Like it was making money. I remember also. Wait, another thing about the edgy culture, right? There was an episode of Rugrats where the babies, and I don't know if you remember this episode, but they were like butt at. I remember like they were just dropping their pants butt ass naked, and I remember Tommy asking Lil, Lillian, like
yeah,
the and Tommy was like, "I have a question, Lil," and she's like, "What is that?" And at the time, I didn't know like what he was talking about, but then rewatching it again, I was like, "Oh."
bruh, I remember the episode in Dragon Ball Z when little Goku went up on climb up upon Bulma to go to sleep, and he patted her vagina like
Yeah, I
he
remember that.
pulled her shirt in like
I
he
remember that, yeah,
patted her
I remember that.
vagina like,
I remember
and he
that.
went and he laid down on her vagina on her vagina. I was like, what? Fuck? It's
That I
always
remember.
been there. I mean, we grew up with this shit.
Yeah, I remember that. I but it's just, like but now I think we're in a more, I guess, heightened it, I think now we're in a more heightened culture now. But now it's just like, okay, I understand where people are coming from, where we need to have a place where we can kind of make jokes and stuff like that and not be taken seriously. But then yet again, do certain jokes go too far? Whereas, there was, if you remember the Nickelodeon dares that they used to do,
Yeah.
I remember, that episode where, the black kid, what was his name? Brian Samuels or something like that. I forget his name. But the black kid, got doused in peanut butter and a dozen dogs licked it off of him. He was saying, I'm not comfortable with this. Right then and there, you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, okay, this is edgy culture. At that point, everybody, including like Cartoon Network and all them other big three heavy hitters at that time, they were making edgy content. Nobody was saying it. There was no protest. It's not like today, right? Where people are just protesting old cartoons or canceling shows like that. Everybody was laughing at it up until it's not a joke anymore.
Yeah.
Now the money's not coming in, you know?
I think the heightened sensitivity is what killed the money. Like you
Mm.
said, I just think it's oversensitivity.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the same thing, but I can also say I can be a bit conscious of it, you know what I'm saying? Because again, it's like now looking at it from an adult lens, we should be responsible for the things that we say and do as adults, right? But then there's also another thing when children get involved, okay? But then yet again, I would say to the parents, you know, in this industry, you got to be careful with your kids, okay? You got to be careful, and it doesn't matter where they are. Yeah, you can be on cruise, still gotta be careful with your kids,
I,
okay?
I don't think the parents care anymore, man. I think, well, not even care anymore. The parents have always been wanting the money. We can go back to
Of
different
course not.
strokes. Gary Coleman, Todd Bridges, Dana Owens. All their parents sold their kids off. Little girl from House on the Prairie, like Heather O'Rourke from Poltergeist. Like it's never not happened. Like there is parents knowingly give their kids up in this
Mhm,
business, and I don't know why people still act like it's shock and surprise. Like, and then they hear responses from Kyle Massey versus his mother. Like
mhm.
some kids are okay with it when they grow up. They understand. Okay, you know what? My parents did this to me. I got molested. I got touched. But everybody's straight. Fuck it.
Yeah,
You got
yeah,
some
yeah.
kids like you got some adults like that now. Like you know what? It happened. Fuck it. Everybody's straight. You know.
Well, what you know what? Because now this whole Nickelodeon thing's gotten pretty ugly. The kid from, Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide laughed at Drake Bell. I'm like, "Bruh, this is getting ugly," and
Yeah.
he's a part of it, and I remember that show, the Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. I remember that show. I just didn't think I was wondering where that nigga went. But, I seriously was wondering where he went. But then when Drake Bell came out with his story and he's laughing at him, I'm like, "See, now you're gonna have people like that, you know?
Hmm.
You're gonna have people that are because even Josh Peck is like, "Man, get out of here, man. Get this nigga out of here."
I
All
mean,
right, what are you talking about? I
eh,
wasn't I wasn't molested on site. I don't know, maybe you weren't attractive
well,
enough.
I would expect two responses.
I
Either it didn't
Please
happen
stop.
to me, or they minimize it. Like, man, this because now you fucking up for everybody. Like you out here telling secrets. You couldn't cope. Get out. Right. If you couldn't hang, you couldn't deal with it. Get your ass out the business. But yet
Mhm.
they don't ever want to leave the business. Like completely leave. It's few of them that have left the business altogether and went moved to Wyoming and some shit and became a housewife or father. You know what I'm saying? Like they rarely
Or
ever.
that one guy that
Yeah.
works for Trader Joe's now. He
Yeah.
was an actor on
And then what
I forget.
happened? And first chance he got to come back in, he's back in under Tyler Perry.
Yeah. Listen, that money too good. Listen, man. Oh my god, man. I tell people like this, man. You want in this business? You really want in this business? Just and Imma look at you like, "You really want in this business?" 'Cause, the things you will have to do for money, you have to take it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I'm not even in the, like, actor standpoint, but I've heard the stories. I'm like, "Yo, like, you want that check? I don't know. Gonna have to make it I don't know." I'm not
I,
telling you what to do. You have free will to do it, but I mean, yeah, yeah. Look, listen.
No, I used to get hype over these stories. Now I'm just like, I don't even I don't even care like that. Like, okay, next.
Listen,
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
listen, like, but I would say nowadays with Nickelodeon, it's like, I mean, Nickelodeon's on its last legs anyway. Like,
Okay,
I mean,
I wanted to ask you that. What happens to Nickelodeon a year from now, 5 years from now?
they have
Is
to sell off. They
okay.
have to sell. Like Viacom can't keep it, you know, and I think their contract is almost up too. I think they had like a decade long contract, and what isn't said is that some of these contracts they expire. You know, like that's why a lot of channels drop off. Like BET used to be owned by Turner Broadcasting. Now
Yeah.
it's owned by Viacom. You know, Nickelodeon has to sell off at some point, just the same as Cartoon Network has to sell off at some point. They have to sell off.
Who do you think would buy Nickelodeon?
Jesus Christ.
You really don't
Yeah.
have many suitors left.
No, because Viacom, I mean, Viacom is the only place where Nickelodeon literally survives. If Nickelodeon gets sold off, like nobody's like Cartoon Network can't take it. Turner Broadcasting can't take it. Universal can definitely not take it.
But
Aside from like, be reminded, Nickelodeon was in Universal, right? Because Nickelodeon Studios used to broadcast a lot of stuff from the studio in Orlando, Florida.
right,
But then they fell on financial. Two things happened. One, it was the hurricane that happened, and I think what was it, 2004, 2005. I'm
right.
not talking about Katrina. There was another one. It was Katrina, not Katrina. It was, I forget which one. It was that, and then it was just financial. It was just too small. The main problem was is that Allegra's window shut down. Jim Jenkins sold Jumbo Pictures to Disney. Then all that was gone. They moved from Orlando, Florida. They did Nickelodeon on Sunset. So all of the Dan Snyder, you know, productions was gonna air or be recorded at Burbank, California,
Yeah.
rather than, Orlando, Florida. Slime Time Live was gone, all of that stuff, right? So Universal was like, "Okay, so what are we gonna do with Nickelodeon now? This is yours. This is Viacom's problem now." You know? They
Uh,
could have been in the pocket of Universal in the mid-2000s, but they didn't make that, you know, they didn't make that pivot.
your only real legitimate suitors would be Amazon, Apple.
I think Apple might take it.
Damn, man, it's really outside of Amazon and Apple. That's really pretty much it because Paramount's up for sale. Um, it's getting ugly. It's getting ugly.
Mhm.
Okay, so the foot fetish thing. Now we can all thank Quentin Tarantino. Like he's probably the most famous of the foot fetish guys, but that's nothing new. But I guess when it comes to kids, it could be a thing if you want to get into that aspect of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Nickelodeon foot fetish.
Well, I mean, I mean, if you kinda, you know, I just wanna bring up something. It is I just want people to see this.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. You know, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the picture of the Nickelodeon studio. I don't, you know, I'm just asking the crowd of okay, so did you see that? In the 90s, I was pretty well aware that you know, the logos that Nickelodeon had, you know, like the hay pile. I mean, that their iconic one was the hay pile.
I don't even
The hay
remember
pile
half
logo
that.
was like the main one.
I
You
don't
don't
even
remember the
remember half
Nickelodeon
that
hay
shit.
pile?
Wow.
Nickelodeon had a whole bunch of logos. They had the light bulb. They had the light bulb. They had the foot. You know, but they also this one. You don't remember this one? Nickelodeon, that was like their main one. Nickelodeon's
This one,
Hey
yeah,
Pie
okay.
was like the
Yeah,
main one.
yeah, yeah. This is the one I grew up with. Oh,
Yeah, the Nickelodeon Hey Pile.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Everybody remembers that one.
yeah.
But the splat, got people getting slimed. It's like, people getting slimed and all that stuff. It's like, kind of read between the lines. I kind of didn't get it, but then everything on Nickelodeon was very sexually charged in the 90s. If
Yeah,
you
it
if you
was a
kind of go back to it, a lot of stuff, like even Rugrats at that time was like the certain episodes were like very like not highly sexualized, but it's just like it was not heavily implied, but it was covert in there.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like it
yeah.
was just people, just people have to read between the lines of things. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I'm just up here and I kind of get it.
Well, here's
And
the crazy
it takes
part.
a while, but it's just,
The crazy part is our parents had no clue. Now we're the parents that have a clue. Imagine all the shit your parents missed that they didn't know, and now you grow up and you're like, "Holy cow!" Our parents, it's not their fault. They didn't know. They weren't initiated. They didn't have, you know, whatever the case may be. Now you're the parents that can point these things out to your kids, and give them a fighting chance to a certain extent. But yeah, I mean, I can't get mad at my folks for I mean, parents like ask questions and stuff when they try to give you little breadcrumbs here and there, but they missed a lot of shit. A lot.
but again, it was the edgy culture of the 90s. You can get away with almost anything. You remember that Rocco's Modern Life episode where he's at that phone line and he's like, "Oh baby, oh baby." Like I can't believe that got out of I'm surprised. That
Ay.
came out of Nickelodeon Studios. Games Animation was Nickelodeon Studios. That came out of there.
Yeah, yeah,
Shit. God, what was that? Eh, certain episodes of Hey Arnold. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Jesus Christ. Like, I don't know what else to tell you other than like, certain things were just, like you can't do it on TV now. Can't do it now. But there was, I mean, also like, you can go to Cartoon Network also.
Mhm.
Johnny Bravo, him trying to pick up chicks and all that shit. Oh wait, there was also there was like that little girl that he used to hang out with. I think her name was Sarah. There was a phone call between him and Sarah, right? And she's like, like she's just talking to Johnny and she asked him to play with her. And Johnny was just like, "Call me back when you're a co-ed." Said that stuff. I'm
Um,
just, you know, I yeah, cow and chicken, pork butts and taters. Like I mean, it's just, I mean,
I remember some weird
I don't
shit in
know.
Courage the Cowardly Dog. I was like, oh hell no. I remember, and let's go to the little queer show. What was in the show? Steven.
Steven
I
Universe?
had I used to let Minnie like first season. I was like, you can't watch this.
Yeah, Steven Universe.
Yeah, she's like, all
Steven
right,
Universe was
daddy.
oh, forget
Yeah,
it. Steven Universe was heavily sexual. What are you talking about?
and it was backed by the LBG.
Garnet
I mean,
Garnet was a whole
yeah,
whole fusion.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was just two lesbians. I don't
Yeah,
know.
even the whole fusion technique when they did it, it was like, oh no, you can't watch this. No.
Yeah, well, he also if you didn't watch Adventure Time, Rebecca Sugar was on Adventure Time before Steven Universe.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you wanna kinda get into that, like there were so many, yeah, the regular show, the bike scene with, Margaret, you know what I'm saying? Like like,
Wait,
shit,
what
man,
happened with
I could
that?
go
Okay,
on.
wait. I stay watching regular show. I'm a historian to a certain extent. What happened with the bike scene? Refresh my memory.
So, you remember when, Mordecai I think Margaret was I forget the episode, but Margaret was riding down with the bike, right?
Yeah.
And it's an ass shot of, Margaret, and Mordecai's just looking at Margaret's ass.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Margaret, yes. Oh yeah, it was times when Margaret her little chest be popping, and she
Yeah.
was very curvy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
she was
Yeah.
what, a Robin? Yeah,
She was a
she was a
Robin.
Robin.
Yeah, yeah,
She was a
yeah,
Robin.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's just, for me, I appreciate what happened in the 90s, although it was a dark time for everybody. Like I appreciate that because it kind of made me a bit mature to the things. Okay, so there are good and there's good and bad in this, right? And I'm not saying that, oh, let's bring back the edgy culture of the night. No, I don't want that. The reason why I say that is because, everything now is just everybody wants something until it happens to them.
Of
Okay.
course,
Everybody wants, like an edgy culture up until they are affected by it.
of course.
Right. And here's the here's the funny part about like this whole like culture war, right? People want to make edgy jokes and then turn around and then say you can't make an edgy joke, we can make the edgy jokes,
Yeah.
you cannot. Right? It's just the same as like the people that are just like, well, we want to make we want to make a culture that is very conscious of like what's happening in society, but we can be the only ones to talk about that. Oh yeah,
Right.
Dexter's Laboratory, remember that episode? It was that episode. Well, there were a bunch of them, like Dexter's mom, and there was that, and Dexter's neighbor, where it had dad's trophy on her ass and stuff like that. And then there was that other one. Oh, when Dexter replaces Dee Dee, and he hires this, like, I guess what you could say, freelance dancer. We're just gonna call her freelance dancer. And then she's like, then Dexter was like, can you dance and stuff like that? And then she's like, well, yeah, but that's gonna cost you extra. I'm like,
Wow.
you
Wow.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
even with the Powerpuff Girls with him, and he had the crazy voice. I was like, God
Oh,
damn.
dude, that was
Dang.
like, everybody wants to talk about like, oh, trans this and trans that. What about him?
Him
What
was
about
a
him? Him was like the sweet transvestite. What are you talking about? That was like, damn, that
Holy
was like,
cow.
what was that? Oh man, the name escapes me, but you know what I'm talking about. Oh, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, Tim
You know what I'm
Curry.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Curry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like,
Now you got Morph in X-Men 97. He's non-binary.
mhm.
So yeah, it's
So
not gonna
I
stop.
would say, and I've been saying this for a long time, everything paves the way for something else. This whole, and people forget that the 90s culture, like the 90s, the edgy 90s culture was indoctrinating our generation into what you're seeing now.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now you're seeing nothing but non-binary and trans and all this other stuff, but you got to go back to exactly what you were laughing at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it was
yeah,
right there and you were laughing at it, but
yeah,
now it's not a laughing matter.
yeah.
I'm just saying, man.
What a time we live in.
It's a very interesting time.
Yeah.
I would say it's a very interesting time to live in, because it's just like, all right, we want to bring up, I'm not saying we cannot bring up, certain issues that happened in the dark times of, like when I would say it was a golden age, but there were so many things that should have been said a long time ago.
Mhm.
On the other hand, everybody was getting that money. Everybody. Okay. Everybody wanted to be a part of the Nickelodeon crew. Everybody wanted to be on Nickelodeon on Sunset or Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, Florida. Everybody wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be a part of it. I got to be on Slime Time Live before it closed down. I was
Dope.
there. I was right there.
That's dope.
And and it was I tell you, Sly, it was an experience that no kid will ever have. Okay, no, there is no Slime Time Live or You Pick Live. That will never happen in Nickelodeon history again. There is only one time when that will happen, and that is 1992, no, 1993, 1994 to 2003.
Yeah,
Never gonna happen again.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, to those that are with the Morph thing, even the original creators of X-Men, the cartoon, they said he was always non-binary.
Mhm.
That was nothing new. Now you
Oh, did
just
you watch? Did you see the new X-Men '99?
I'm up on it. It's cool.
I
Storm
just
lost her
I just don't
powers.
I just never understood why they needed to do X-Men '97 again. I just never understood that.
I The animation I thought would be a little bit smoother. When I watch the intro, it's like it's so choppy and so like what is going. But I'm watching it. I'm up to speed on it. I still don't understand how Storm and Magneto gonna do this baby thing, but apparently Magneto can do like an ultramagnetic aura, and
Mhm.
somehow it works. I don't. I'm just
I don't know.
yeah. Okay.
I just think it was pretty uninteresting. I'm sorry. It was just, you know,
I'm just
I,
here for the nostalgia to hear some of the voices, the old voice actors come back. Cyclops finally is a badass for once because he was always like the joke of Wolverine's always punking him and shit and disrespecting him in front of Jean. Still, it happens to a certain, not as bad as it was in the previous iteration, but I'm here for the nostalgia, man. You know,
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I would say, I mean, to end on the Nickelodeon topic, it's just like it's gonna be a very interesting few weeks because there are a bunch of. I was watching. There was this like I don't know. There was this YouTube channel where the voice of Tyrone, from the Backyardigans, he
yeah.
coming out of the woodwork. I'm like, you were the voice of Tyrone
What
from
would
the
he say?
Backyardigans.
What would he say?
He was like, he was first off, he was like, I'm very glad that this didn't happen to me at Nickelodeon when I was doing the Backyardigans, but now he's doing the hold
Well,
Nickelodeon accountable and all that.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think every kid got touched because not every kid got touched. Everybody got messed with in different ways. Not everybody got touched. It may have been different something, but um my thing is this: if the business is that bad, leave. Like, and I mean leave. Don't do
Yeah,
don't
UPS
do
is always
indie work and still be trying to be in the business. Like, no, if it's the whole thing is demonic, get your ass up out of it and keep it moving. That's
yeah,
that's how I look at it.
like
So
I'm surprised. I'm like even for Nickelodeon, there was you remember that show, Gullah Gullah Island. You don't hear that cast
I
say nothing.
remember that.
And I think what wasn't the husband Guyanese or something? Wasn't he from Africa?
He was something.
Because I know they were from the Geechees. I know all that was Geechee, but like even Binya Binya was Geechee.
Yeah.
But I just never I think he was Guyanese. I don't remember, but maybe let me look that up. Now I'm interested, like, because you never hear anything from them,
While you're looking
But
that up,
I'm surprised.
you got a question. Shout out to Lover Green for 10 on the super chat. Got it real quick. Hold on. Okay, he asks, "Hey, Stagehands, have you seen Friday Night Tights? It's a weekly pop culture podcast." Well, yeah, we know about Friday Night, but let's continue with the question.
We know
It's
about
a
Friday
weekly
Night.
pop culture podcast, 17,000 viewers. They mostly cover Disney and Marvel slot, but we'd love to see you guest star on that pod. Oh, that's what's up.
I mean, would Gary want me on his podcast?
Yo, you know
'Cause
what?
I'm not, I'm very outspoken. I'm a very outspoken black man, so I don't know. I'm not Eric July. I'm sorry, I'm not Eric
Well,
July.
if you
Oh,
want to see us on you guys' favorite other alternate podcast, make a petition and say,
you
"Hey,
might as well just say start talking.
yes,
It's not gonna be me.
get some
Ah, yes.
pepper."
Okay, so the guy's name, so the guy that sings "Come and let's play it together." So Ron Dice is his name. He's
Okay.
West African. He's West African. I knew it was somewhere. Your Club Fortune, come get your people. Nah, actually, no, don't come get this guy. This guy's pretty cool. He ain't doing nothing. And I mean, after, yeah, 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 but he has his own website and everything. Ron Dice. Okay, all right. Oh, hold on a second. I want people to see this. Hold on, I got you. This is his. So okay. So he's out here doing something. Okay, Ron Dice. That's the guy. That's
Oh,
his. He's author, educator, performer, Gullah cultural interpreter, baker of Gullah'licious cakes. Okay, so he is from West Africa. I did not know that. Okay. He has a blog and all that shit. Okay, okay, okay. That's okay. That's what's up. That's what's up.
mm.
I did not know. I did not know. But yeah, yeah. Anyway, from okay, now, all right, now why everybody's here. All right, Eric July. All right, all right. Yeah, I saw his new character, and I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not because everybody's wrestling the blues is so disingenuous. No, no. What I said was that Eric, the same guy who likes to talk about woke, right, does a bit of woke stuff himself. Okay, and whether or not he sees it or not, okay, he wants to keep politics out of it, but I don't think that's possible because everything from what he was doing then to what he's doing now is still in the political realm.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can't escape it, unfortunately, in this business, unfortunately. Let's see. I just okay, we're gonna play the video, and I think it's a good character. I personally think it's a good character, but I know me
Oh. Oh. Oh.
personally, that's just me though. But what say you?
Uh.
It's the salvage, and honestly, I don't know. I don't know. But what do you think?
Kind of borged out the last minute.
Oh boy. All right, let's see this video real quick. Let's see this video. It's only a minute 26. All right, let's see. Fair use.
So far, you've been introduced to several characters with their own unique abilities and aspirations. Isom, Alpha Core, Yaira, and many more populate the Rippaverse. Hero
Okay. Okay. So, not Yaira, but okay. Wait. I do want to talk about Yaira real quick. I don't know, because there are so many different versions of Yaira, and everybody's like, well, Yaira looks a bit feminine, and in certain aspects, she looks a bit masculine and stuff like that. I mean, just for me in general. Okay, Horseman. I'm not feeling Horseman. Blood Ruth. Okay, I
Okay,
can see. I can see.
I like the look of Blood Ruth. I would be if she's well written. I'm game. I'm down for it.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I would say the same thing.
verse. Heroes and villains roam this affluent city of Florist Park, Texas. But what about the private citizens that need something aside from the muscle of a superhero? Well, that's where he comes into play. Meet Salvage, often referred to as the Salvage, a well seasoned private investigator that operates within the city limits of Florist Park. A dapper man he is, but he's no slouch. His line of work is unpredictable, so he's very handy with the steel. But he doesn't just take on any investigative job. Certain requirements must be met.
Okay, so this is like a case closed type thing. Like, you remember that anime, Case Closed?
Yeah.
Basically, it sounds like that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But with like a black character, because Conan only does, Conan only does mysteries. Like, it's a mystery anime. Conan only does things to get to the point where he can be an adult again. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can be truly an adult again, because he's transformed into a kid and is trying to find out, well, how did that happen?
Yeah.
So he's only taking on cases that only benefit him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know but what I
I
mean, it's okay. No, go ahead, go ahead.
I just think he's throwing too many characters. Like Isom is still not been developed and fleshed out. Like I don't. And then now I'm getting the Yaira and the Alpha Core. Like it's too much. Like you bombarding me with too much too soon. I don't. I'm turned off because you're just throwing anything at me at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, the character itself looks good. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's not. It's like, okay, all right, all right. I'll give it a chance if it's right, if it's written well. But considering the track record of Alpha Core, ISOM 1 and 2, it's just like, okay, like, I don't know how you're gonna do salvage, man. You know, I'm just saying.
What are those? Well, you'll have to read it to find out. The story is from myself, Eric July, with art from veteran Bart Sears. Find Salvage's 13-page introduction in the first ever Rippaverse magazine for just $7. This story is unlike anything we've told so far in the Rippaverse. It's a character that fits in a much different genre from the other characters. And if the audience responds well to this, perhaps the Salvage could even get his own ongoing series.
What?
Uh,
Why say all that? Fuck. No, I'm good. I'm good.
because now at that point, it's just like, well, now you're just throwing me a character
Yeah.
and hoping that it sticks. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, instead of introducing the character and saying to me, "Hey, do you like this character?" Like a hidden Easter egg. Okay, that's how a lot of these, like Disney does it a lot. Like they throw in a Easter egg character, like in Monsters Incorporated, they threw in Finding Nemo in Toy Story 2, right? They threw in Jesse from Toy Story 2 and Nemo from Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Then in certain Easter eggs, you're getting the next thing that they might work on. You know what I'm saying? Versus like, young Ripper where he's like, here's Isom, right? And then Isom meets Yira, and then Yira meets Alpha Core, and then Alpha Core meets the Salvage, and then the Salvage meets Horseman, and Horseman. It's like, bro, you I don't think the world is developed that much. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and then the Ripazine, it's just like, it's just, all right, now you're selling that shit for $7, but I'm not gonna deny the fact that you charged us $53 for
Yeah,
ISOM
I'm
1.
good. Yeah, I'm
For
good.
ISOM 1.
I'm good.
Shit. I'm just saying, bro, it's just, oh God. Oh my God. I and for those who say I didn't want Eric to win, or I'm being disingenuous towards Eric, it pains me to have to do this, okay? Every time I get on this thing, it's not like I'm rubbing my hands and it's just like, yes, I'm going to destroy the black man. It's crabs in the barrel time. I'm like, God damn it, Eric, can you just stop real quick? Just take the time to just step back from the internet and trying to, and let's be clear here. And I didn't point this out last time. The reason why you say tomato, I say tomato. The reason why Yaira is at 1.2, 1.3 million is because of what he did on Twitter, like not too long ago. So there was like a tweet that he did, and I think it was Elon Musk of all people, blew that up, and that's how pretty much he's got like, and I think Eric knows this. He has to stay within the realm of blowing up on Twitter or having to stay active on Twitter
Yeah.
to get, like people, clicking on the Rippaverse, you know what I'm saying? Or to buy the comic books. He had like, even I'm pretty sure, and I know this is gonna happen again, is that he's pretty much gonna have to then, go on Twitter, have to say something egregious, and Elon Musk or some other right-wing person, look at it and say, see, that's the black man. You have to donate to him. You have to crowdfund him.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I mean,
Yeah.
but let's be clear here. Yaira wouldn't be at $1.3 million had he not gone viral on Twitter again.
I
I'm
agree. I
I'm
agree.
just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just saying.
agree.
Just and again, people can say that, oh, Sly and Red, like they make fun of Eric July. No, that's not it. That's not what that's not the premise of this live stream. It, like, every time when Eric just says something stupid, I'm just like, Eric, please
He
stop.
does it to himself. Like, we don't have to do any.
Just
Listen,
please stop.
I no longer even desire to have a conversation with him at any. I don't even care at this point because I'm just like, he's so off the rails. It's like, there's no bringing this dude back. So we're just going to watch the Titanic from a safe distance. And then when the people are like, help, 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 I guess we'll fire up our boats and come save whoever isn't drowned in the freezing cold water. Hey, what did Jack say to Ruby at the end? What did he say before?
Oh my God. No, me personally, listen, it pains me to do this because I want to see Eric win, but it's just like, bruh, come on, man, stop. Just stop.
Shit.
Stop, man.
What the hell did Jack say to Ruby?
God. But you want to know something? I was watching the interview that you were doing with Sean.
Yeah.
And I do agree with him on various things. And I did point this out to you, that a lot of people were not gonna do, and I think we said this on like the first, second, or third Crabs in the Barrel podcast. I believe because I did say this to you. the reason why a lot of people were not going to do videos on Eric July in the first place was because he took that picture with Kyle
Kyle
Rittenhouse. And I
Rittenhouse. You're
did
right.
say that.
Sure
I
did.
did say that. I was like, see, Sean pointed that out. Shout out to you. Shout out to Sean. Cause I remember him. I remember a lot of people not doing, they knew Eric July. They were just never gonna do it
Yeah.
because of his political leaning. And I did say that. A lot of people in the industry have political leanings. And if you're not a part of that political leanings, it's gonna get harder for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just me personally, and I know for some people, well, it's just like, well, you should have a differing opinion. Cool. That's all fine and dandy. That's okay, fine. But when you're taking the money of the people that are not of, that certain political leaning, it's just more or less like you might want to tone it down a bit.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of I see this all the time. I see this all the time in IATSE. Guys with, like guys puff out their chest and be like, yeah, I'm Trump. I'm for Trump. I'm pro Trump. I'm like, I wouldn't be saying that, man. I wouldn't be saying that, man.
There
I
was a
wouldn't be
reason why you
saying,
kept that to yourself. Your political ideologies. That when
yeah, there was a reason why you said this.
Yeah.
I said, if you want to be, I've seen it too. I said they were saying that shit today and they were going tomorrow. Like we ain't, they bunch of people went up to HR with that shit. Right hand, left hand to God. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. And people can say, oh, well, that shouldn't happen. You're in the wrong industry.
Yeah, I want to say, yeah.
You are in the wrong industry. I have listen, you want to say that? You want to say that with your chest puffed out? UPS is always hiring.
Always.
And that's all I got.
Anything else any last words for the people?
Drink your water, it is spring. That's it.
All right. We are crabs. Crabs in the we are crabs in the barrel.
Crabs in the bucket, which one.
Yeah. We are them. We are the biggest haters of Eric July.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very, very disingenuous too. Very
extremely
disingenuous.
My man. Until again. Until next weekend.
No, actually, until Eric says something even more stupid. Until Eric says something even more stupid, we will be back. I wasn't gonna talk about the Kotaku thing. Maybe next week. Next week.
For sure.
Because he was kind of out of line for that one.
We'll say that one. Yeah, we'll say that one.
We'll save that one for next week.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I got to get back to making this video. All right, guys. I'm gonna catch you later.
All right, bro. Have a good night.
All right, man. Peace out.
Okay. I'm done for today. I'm hungry as hell. I have a sick wife, so let me go take care of her and give me something to eat. And thank y'all for coming through for show number 2. Tomorrow, I'm taking a day off. With that being said, tell a friend. We're the hottest thing smoking in this comic book thing. Y'all have a good night. Peace.